Okay, good.
So we are into it. FunPlus going to be on the T side. They've got the 5 Glocks on deck. All Kevlar, no funny business, no grenades or anything like that. JT trying to hold things down as he falls back away towards CT spawn almost. But it's the CT's getting the kill so far. The burst fire won't quite get there for SI. JT will get traded, but all the headshots are mostly coming in for the likes of Cloud9. Stabbing now, stuck between a rock and a hard place. And he'll get popped as well. The pistol goes to Cloud9.
Excellent, yes. They will be able to start off with comfort on that CT side. It's always nice. Maybe we'll even see a shotgun.
I like how deadpan and emotionless JT is. Most of the time when he's being interviewed, he looks like he wants to punch someone in the face. And I can support that message.
I was going to say
so that makes me more of a Cloud9 guy, yeah.
You can definitely, yeah, that feels like it would be almost, you could, you know, interchangeably put you up there.
Yeah.
Well, FunPlus, they have got some weaponry to work with here, opting to go for that force buy, as you often do in a situation like this. The Mag-10 will be quite useful, creating space for the other teammates. We're going to see S-Attack trying to find some damage here outside, just create some noise here, but here comes the upper push. Floppy in position with the MP9, doing a great job actually, getting a double kill. That will thin the numbers, I think, enough here to block any chance. Indeed, no bomb will be planted. That would have been a great plus moving forwards. They at least get a couple kills, but I think you really want to find more value when you're going for a force buy like that. Of course, they will be able to get a couple, pistols maybe in this round, but ultimately it should be an easy one for Cloud9 to just further solidify their economy.
Talk about the youth and relative inexperience here for Cloud9, but you have to, as a plus, they are really hungry and they're very dedicated to learning as much as they can, being as efficient as they can, and developing themselves as players and as a team. I've actually played with EboTM before on Face It, and he's it was pretty cool. I was kind of taken aback by how proactive and communicative he is versus what you normally get. He was really focused on every round and every detail all of the time, which was nice, but it's so rare for someone like me to experience that with other people that I was kind of taken aback and almost became stupid. But anyway, the point is, I know how hungry these players are. You can see it the way Floppy tweets about each game and how disappointed they are with the losses and so on. And that's definitely something going on in their favor. They're hungry to put effort in where not every player necessarily does in terms of watching demos and so on. It seems to be all too rare that people do that. S-Tag will get a opening kill for the T side outside. FunPlus Phoenix. New organization in Counter-Strike.
There's only 3 Deagles, but you've got to be careful at this point. You don't really want to lose any more money in this round. And FunPlus, they don't have a smoke to really cross here, but with that kill, you can see that it has created more of a passive approach from the CTs. There is the Org there in place. OC will be able to do a lot of damage, but it's a hard position to find the kill on, but this time will make it work. And he is quite dangerous, one of the better players statistically for FunPlus Phoenix. And 3 players will survive for Cloud9, so they lost 2 in each of these last 2 rounds. So their economy is being kept in check here by FunPlus Phoenix as they now move into their full buy. And I'm very curious what they have in store for us.
In case you don't understand what was going on towards the end of that round, you had one of the players basically wide swinging, but he was doing it facing the other way, trying to hide his head to be a target for as long as possible so his teammates could do some damage with the pistols, which did work out for them. But indeed, now it's the 5 Kriegs for FunPlus Phoenix. They've got Molotovs and flashbangs beyond these smoke grenades. MOTM getting pretty close. A lot of T's moving past. Amongst all that fire, he will hear footsteps unless the flashbang took his sound away. Spots at least 2 players, gets traded. 1 for 1 just isn't enough on the CT side. You need at least 2.
Okay, ooh, a quick challenge. They're looking for some information. Is Floppy does actually get a dink. Very cheeky bit of damage. And Sonic, meanwhile, has also made his way in from Trophy Room. So there's some forward positioning here for Cloud9. He's going to go up the ladder. Okay, Stavin is expecting this. I think he saw some pixels. Maybe not enough, as Sonic will take him down, steal the Krieg, and get his way out of there. But this is getting a little bit crazy now because Borup is on that lower bomb site by himself. Gets a pick. Cadian able to get the kill. And that seems a little bit sloppy there from Cloud9, James. And now it's just OC that's remaining in the ramp room. Doesn't really feel like there's much he can do at this point.
Cloud9 taking liberties as FunPlus look for their first round win. CT's on the T roof, not something you see very often. There'll be sound cues as players make their way downstairs. Now, I do wonder if that, I mean, that was obviously, in a vacuum, an absurd amount of risk that we saw being taken. And it might be that they're trying to sort of set things up for the long term, making FunPlus afraid of any potential plays, so they play more scared and maybe not necessarily play their game. Anyway, OC looking to clutch here. 1 versus 3. We'll take Snappy out. There's definitely an upgrade to be had there. Definitely want the Krieg over the Org, but down to 13 HP. I think he's had quite enough of this round and he'll start to fall back instead. So FunPlus Phoenix are going to find their way onto the scoreboard relatively early. Again, I don't think we're going to see maybe even another round like that from Cloud9. That's so aggressive and they're moving forward so much, so deep. So we'll see if there was a purpose to that in the long term.
Yeah, one small detail I would have liked to have seen done differently by Cloud9 there is just to have, I believe it's Floppy around the heart, just kind of do a jiggle into the lobby once again, just to get information, and if there is a player waiting for them, he can take some contacts. And that will give his teammates information, as opposed to just going down the ladder completely blind and then Floppy having to play this trade here, which doesn't really work out. Obviously, you can't know exactly where that player is, but it doesn't cost anything to get the info for the heart player at all. So either way, it is indeed a situation where they will save a Krieg, and one Krieg can make all the difference. We saw that yesterday, James, multiple times. Or the day before, I forget now, it all blends together. But Kriegs are good, especially in the hands of the CTs.
See what they're able to do. More aggression from Cloud9 as they try to make up for these pistols. Stavin's in the anti-eco territory, but you can see he's kind of panicking, not sure where the push is going to come from. Now things are safer. His teammates made his way up the ladder, so they've escaped a potential threat in the lobby position. But again, when you're on anti-eco, often where Stavin is standing, that general area is where you'll find a T. So if there's a ramp push, if there's a lobby push, you can fall back. You've got multiple corners to fight against and try to keep weapons out of the hands of your opponent. And this is what Cloud9 want to do to some degree, is to catch FunPlus off guard. And if you don't get frags, at least force them to play a plan B or C. Lobby is a great concern now to FunPlus Phoenix. So how are they going to proceed?
Outside control for FunPlus Phoenix. They didn't even have to throw the cross smokes, confident without them. And maybe that is the mistake, because you can see that Krieg at that particular engagement is pretty precise, very strong. And now it's down to FunPlus Phoenix to crack open the ramp room. But there is a two-man setup there. And there is always the option for OC also to rotate towards his position. So this is a very strong spot here for Cloud9 to potentially finish the round. OC goes in for it, but he's only able to get one off the trade, and it is not going to be all that successful for Cloud9 here, and it might just get worse because Floppy's been spotted. Cadian stalking him there, looking for him, and oh no!
Oh no!
The timing is unreal.
He thought he went down, but he didn't, and that's been a big problem. That makes it a 2 versus 2 now. Snappy moves into a very strong position, gave no sound cues away. That's going to be really important as this round progresses. JT holding an angle. Does Floppy consider this? He doesn't. So JT's got the information 1-to-1 now. Almost gets there, but not quite. Stavin finishes off the job for round 2 for FunPlus Phoenix. That ruins the money for Cloud9 as well. 22.50 almost for everybody. Early Eco Town for the CT side.
Yeah, and they can definitely go for a full save and just have everything in the next round. So I would be curious to see if they do decide to invest anything at all in this next round. We'll see. This one's been pretty close.
Soup? Did he say soup?
Maybe he's a big fan of soup, James. I don't know.
USPs and a P250 for OC. JT has a smoke to try and delay things, I would presume. So we'll see what FunPlus's anti-eco looks like. FunPlus currently ranked number 14. Cloud9 28. But again, in terms of form, there is definitely something to be looked at here. So there is more opportunity than it otherwise might be for the likes of Cloud9. Cloud9 with a lot to prove, a lot of respect to earn here at Flashpoint 1. Snappy has quietly made his way up to heaven, which is very strong as the rest of your team look to come in and take the site. The main threat, as we can see, is towards the ramp, which will be avoided by FunPlus for the time being. FunPlus, I just said.
You said a few different variations.
I know, yeah, we're getting there.
I don't know.
We've done the Copenhagen frames and Copenhagen games. Now we've got the FunPlus.
You did a FunPlus as well. That was good.
Yep.
I'm just keeping track. I was hoping you wouldn't notice.
I just moved. No, I moved swiftly on with that one. I was like, let's just not go back to that. Let's just carry on. If I move on, there'll be less chat, but I'm sure there's more to come.
And so indeed, you can see here, though, you know, that Cloud9 did go for that full save, as I was talking about. It's one of those positions where you just, it's just not. I mean, I could always see a pro team wanting to keep pressure on and buying a few bits and bobs here and then leaving themselves light a couple grenades or maybe even an AWP in the following round. That happens all the time, but it's good to see that, you know, that there is this version of the of the game here where Cloud9 pick the option to have everything. And I wish teams did that a little bit more often, James. I feel sometimes teams do actually hamstring themselves slightly by trying to put pressure on in spots where it's a little bit too difficult to do so, and they set themselves up for a more difficult situation later in the later rounds. But here, you know, Cloud9 have everything they possibly could have had, and they will have 4M4s and AUG, a decent selection of grenades. I don't see a kit though, James. I'm unhappy about that, but. Maybe the bomb won't even go down. We'll have to see.
They don't have all the money in the world, to be honest. JT started with 4350, so there's a lot of things lacking in terms of utility. Cajun continuing with the MAC-10. Nice to see the sniper with the SMG getting that bonus money as well. Good plan to make. Something for those of you at home to think about. So FunPlus taking it slow. We've seen at least 2 rounds now where we've seen rabid aggression from Cloud9. So FunPlus will take their time and give Cloud9 an opportunity to hang themselves. So again, C9, they've prioritized the rifles over full grenades and kits and so on. But again, they're changing the pace early. Now we reached the minute mark.
And one thing we can note as well is that we're not seeing these outside smokes from FunPlus Phoenix as well. They know that they have the weapon advantage, so it can actually be quite favorable to be in a spot where you can just open up with a Krieg, a couple Kriegs versus an M4. You're going to want to take that every day. So don't deny that opportunity by smoking everything off and then playing the closer ranges.
That's a big Molotov to miss on Hut if you're going to push into the A bomb site. Nothing doing just yet, though. Really running low on time now. Offering a play towards A FunPlus. 30 seconds on the clock. Stavin opens the proceedings now, 5 versus 4, keeping people entertained on the A bomb site. But the rotation's coming in now from the CTs. I think they're starting to realize or wonder at the very least. Sonic now sees smokes are up, going for the burst, trying to stop the bomb from crossing. But Snappy will almost desperately get a bomb plant in that smoke with about 15 seconds on the clock.
Yes, a cool setup from FunPlus Phoenix to try and have that lurk, control Squeaky, and then get everyone down lower and fake that upper presence. But this is the result. All the CTs come through ramp. So you've got to be able to deal with this. And Burp will fail the first test with the Krieg there, leaving it to 2 of his teammates. They have a Molotov each, and there's no smokes remaining for the CTs here. There's lots of options for FunPlus Phoenix to defend this with these various utility, as well as the Krieg through the door.
Oh,
and Snappy's going to get so many players, and there's no kit. So there's no chance here really now for Sonic to save this. And Esotak's hungry. He wants to finish it off, and he will. No save for Sonic, and the round goes to FunPlus Phoenix. That's a cool little strat, James. I like that one.
That was extremely painful to watch, the one-by-one attempts to deal with the door issue.
Yep.
And again, prioritizing the rifles over, the M4s over the grenades there. No FAMAS or anything like that was spotted.
Yeah, no MP9s. That would be a common thing to do.
Makes things a little bit more difficult, but again, these issues are better to learn early than to learn late. Cadian very pretty happy. Got it. He's had, for such a young player, he's got such a long history.
He does, yeah.
At this point in CS:GO.
He's done so many different things too. I remember, like, at the beginning of my commentary career, hanging out with him in London when he came in to do casts in like 2015 and stuff. So, yeah, it's.
Yeah, I remember him practicing in our various different offices as we grew from office to office in London. We've seen a lot of Cadian around, but again, he's so young, it's kind of crazy. Another great opportunity to represent a great brand in FunPlus Phoenix, and now they've taken the lead. 4 rounds in a row for FunPlus on the T side of Nuke. And Cloud9 are back into Pistol Town, so we'll see how their next buy changes. I mean, they will be approaching maximum loss bonus, so I'm sure we'll see an AWP and more grenades in general. FunPlus with another anti-eco round. So again, all that early aggression from Cloud9, FunPlus able to weather the storm. They'll find comfort now with a flurry of these rounds early. Flocky will pick up a P250 as a wallbang attempt, looking for the reload, but Cadian leaves some bullets in the magazine. Quite smart of him. A smoke to create space, but he's gone for the long one. which might get him into trouble here, actually. Stuck on a reload finally, but Stavin's here to protect the weapon and get 2 kills. That leaves JT and Sonic remaining. JT going for a nice kill, looking for one more. Things starting to get dangerous now.
Ooh. That was very close, wasn't it? Good attempt by Cloud9 to do some damage with the pistols there. And FunPlus Phoenix are going to go to 5 rounds now. 5-3 is the score, and they've got 5 rounds in a row. So they're experiencing a lot of success, despite some of these rounds being closer than others. I would say overall, it appears to be the case that FunPlus Phoenix is, running their various strategies has just worked out pretty flawlessly when they're playing against buy rounds. But this is the biggest buy round we're going to see from Cloud9, or have seen at this point. We haven't really seen them with that AWP in the hands of OC just yet. And so this does give options to Cloud9 to actually do more outside. If they want to take forward setups towards the T-Red container or garage, or if they want to push close under silo, all these things now become a possibility. Or they could actually instead have OC just rocking that AWP on the ramp room and then have the riflers go outside. There's so many setups that are now available just because Cloud9 have this AWP in hand that that they weren't able to do previously. And part of the reason is because the Kriegs just dominate the ranges just against anything, even AWPs, from time to time. So you need at least an AWP to be able to open up the options for yourselves against the T side. And they've picked up an AWP as well. Cadian's on that one. Molly to the hut. Also presence outside from the T side immediately here. Just as I mentioned, OC is playing secret with the AWP. Surely there'll be some nades for this. We'll have to see. There's a quick pop flash. Beautiful stuff. Cadian takes the angle away and is posts up on it instead. OC's in a lot of trouble here. He needs teammates to be able to throw something in.
Nice.
And he just goes for the swing into the angle, James. But that was by design for FPX.
Yeah, but at this point, look at the grenades on Cloud9. Only one person has a flashbang. And I don't think he was in a position to help, so... The peak, though, was very risky indeed. No distraction of any kind, it seems, outside, and FPX have an early 5 versus 4. Trouble for Cloud9 on their CT side. Now, can they do something proactive in response to this? They look vulnerable from heaven. Stavin, again, still up on the roof outside, and maybe those earlier plays from Cloud9 are keeping him in such a position for the time being. Really focused. They've got no lurker in lobby, which would explain why. And indeed, we've got a forward play from Cloud9 in that hut. But how long will they wait there for? 2 plays in hell for FunPlus Phoenix. So with 35 seconds on the clock, they need to decide on where they want to go, what they want to offer in the meantime if they go for another fake play. Oh, Stavin's going to take out both. Can't get the third though from the ramp. Sonic now, he's got to figure out what the hell's going on. He hasn't seen the bomb. They've only fragged 1 player and there's only 2 of them left. MOTM trying to play time, trying to hide in plain sight. Falls off, Snappy taken out. And Cadian, can he finish him off as well? He can. Bomb's on the floor, but he gets traded immediately, MOTM. The sound cues are here for S-Tag. And now we've got the 1 versus 1. 10 seconds, he's got to go in front at the back.
Does manage to get it off there. There's an incendiary. That's going to force him out to the right side for Sonic. He knows it. And there is the spray, but he can't land the bullets. Down to 7. Borup will clutch it through, and that's painful, James. 6 rounds in a row now for FPX.
That one really went down to the wire, but I feel like once OC got taken out in secret, Cloud9 were in the dark for most of that round.
Yeah.
2 players taking that in the heart. These Greeks are really helping with the multi-frags FunPlus Phoenix and making life even harder for Cloud9. Every round since round 4 has felt like a struggle for Cloud9 from start to finish.
Yep.
FPX really racking things up now on their T side. We have another tactical timeout from Cloud9 as they look to figure things out.
And one quick point as well about Cloud9, how they played that previous round is you drew the attention towards OC at the beginning. The position he was playing, you can play around the secret stairs with no support from any of the players outside. But if you go up the stairs into that little cubby on the right there, which is where he was, you're actually kind of committed because you can actually get trapped in there by the utility that commonly is thrown towards secret. And you don't have the option to drop down without being exposed. But if you stay on the steps, you can always fall back without being exposed. So if you're going to be exposed, James, you've got to have a rifle to support you with some kind of utility there. So Cloud9 taking some risks here. This buy does not look good, and it's a full-out ramp rush coming through for Cloud9. They're looking to do what they can, or for FPX, and Cloud9 are looking to do what they can to hold it off, but ramp will be given up, but the trades actually will be decent, and it will make it a 2 versus 2 as this lowest bomb site is attacked. Players in position here. This is not easy for FunPlus Phoenix, but they should be able to get the bomb down at the very least.
Wallbangs being attempted, but not quite getting there. Floppy and OC. Floppy's shown some presence. Can OC play off of this? We've got both players on the site for FunPlus Phoenix, although Snappy's gone up to the ramp. He has a Molotov in tow, but throwing it would give away his position. And there's the molly thrown anyway. Floppy will use the smoke to get through, but now there's no smoke for the bomb itself. S-Tag now on the high ground takes out Floppy, leaves OC with not much to do. He has no kit and 50 HP, no players for help, so I think really all he can do is save his own rifle at this point. Nothing else to be done. And there's a chase from S-Tag. There will be no survivors for Cloud9 as FunPlus move to 7.
Oof, it doesn't really look good for Cloud9, does it, James? There hasn't really been a round that kind of convinces me that they're prepared enough to deal with what FunPlus Phoenix are throwing at them in terms of, you know, just the way that they're playing their setups as a team, the kind of overall strategic approach and the tactics that may go with that. It's just a bit too weak to handle what FunPlus Phoenix are doing. They're certainly showing that they are the more experienced team, the Danes. They've shown some really cool rounds so far. And we're actually going to see some outside smokes, which they haven't thrown very often because they want to keep those ranges open for the Kriegs. And they know they have the arsenal advantage. JT is, of course, around these smokes, but he's not going to be brave enough to push through them. And there is no information at all for FunPlus Phoenix at this point. Sorry, rather for Cloud9. I keep mixing them up. Cloud9 are in the dark. They've got no one to spot this push. They can make a guess to it, though, especially now with all the nades coming down into the lower bomb site.
I can't remember Cloud9 winning a round at this point, and we're only 10 rounds in.
Yeah.
Just the fashion in which FunPlus Phoenix have been winning these rounds. A lot of them have been close to feeling uncontested.
They should probably just save what they have here, just play for a Krieg. They're looking for the lurker, actually. And there he is. And they will not get the Krieg, or will they? Yes, there is one extra player. MOTM will nab that Krieg.
That allows the bomb plant, and the hunt will begin. Krieg is very dangerous, though, even on an ecoing player. The money's not super high for FunPlus, so if Cloud9 can turn things around and MOTM can do some damage here, it may pay off in the long run. Oh, there we go. One and done. Yes, S-Tag will trade. So that's the 8th round, and the 8th round in a row for FunPlus Phoenix. Cloud9, is anyone there? Is anyone responding? MOTM has picked up an AWP, so we may see a difference. I know he's dropped it for OC.
Yeah, FunPlus Phoenix looking pretty good. I like that they delayed the plant so they can make sure that they could kill everyone. But I also like that Cloud9 were looking for the lurker. They're looking to get that like 4v1 and steal away a gun. So you can see the objectives of both teams and how they play out. Double orbs for Cloud9 is going to be the difference. We'll have to see if this is going to be the change that will start winning them rounds again. It's looking like we'll get an upper burst here. That's definitely not good if Cloud9 are rocking 2 orbs. How will they hold this? Floppy from the roof of huts is doing some damage, but it's just simply not enough. And now the only thing open for the CTs is Heaven, but there's so much utility in that position, they can't move an inch.
That timing is absolutely brutal for Cloud9. They only had one CT in the A bomb site. There was no one to help Floppy. He had to cover Squeaky and the Hut on his own. And as we can see, it didn't work out. Looks like Cloud9 might try to go for a retake of 2 AWPs, make it one, because OC's been taken out. MOTM has a lot of work to do here. Oh my god, Borup just showing with a grenade in his hand, and this may make it winnable. Lining up for him. Oh, that's a critical mistake, and that might allow Cloud9 back into this game.
Oof, yikes. Yeah, that's one of those ones which you shouldn't really be giving up. Very nicely done by Cloud9 to persevere and make that work for themselves. But that might be a kind of a slap in the face for FPX. It might wake them up a little bit. Sometimes when you're experiencing like so much success as they have been, sometimes things aren't as tight as they otherwise might be. A little bit of complacency perhaps, but some great shots coming in here from Cloud9. You can see MOTM is chasing him down, creating all that space for Sonic. He'll finish things off. And there we go. One extra round for Cloud9. If they can somehow get another couple, James, they might be able to salvage this half.
MOTM 13 for 9 at present, leading the scoreboard. Can he have more impact to help Cloud9 win some more rounds. Now we're seeing some actually good buys from Cloud9 finally. Maybe all too late on this CT side. Sonic flashed away from his position on the ramp as a charge comes in from multiple players. OC's lining them up and forced back by the Flames. No one's taken any damage just yet on either side. FunPlus will firmly establish control of the ramp, but it doesn't mean they're committed towards the B bomb site. Two Cloud9 players are on the lower area, Sonic and JT for the time being. And Cadian is going to have many guests trying to catch them off on the rotation. Only 1 for 1 though. JT goes back towards B. But again, look at the change now from FunPlus. They took ramp and now they charge into an uncontested A bomb site.
Yeah, they saw the setup and they just reacted. It's like, okay, where are all the CTs? Well, they can't be on the upper bomb site given what we just saw, so let's go take that then. That's amazing. They're using Cloud9's play against them.
Making them over-rotate.
Exactly, and that is what Nuke is about. I mean, that's what every map ultimately is about in terms of how you want to strategize on your T side. You want to create this kind of effect, but it doesn't often go as well as this. Borup might just have the genius flank here. OC is in so much trouble. Oh no, will he pull out the knife? No, just going to finish him off with the Krieg. And just checking if anyone wants the AWP. And another round for FunPlus Phoenix. And another round in which they just really make Cloud9 look like a team that is just not deserving, James. They're not deserving of this stage.
Yeah, this is brutal thus far.
Yep.
6 is possible for Cloud9, but maybe not likely now. They're going to have a few pistols out, some bits and bobs. They haven't really offered much in rounds such as this, and on paper you shouldn't. 4 Kriegs and an AK versus a bunch of pistols and the odd smoke grenade. Squeaky door blown off. Look at that. Look at the penetration. Cloud9 just waiting to be victims at this point. Sitting in chairs, waiting for their ticket to be called. Cloud9, they don't really have much record on Mirage and Nuke of late, so in terms of the map pool depth, looks like FPX have them beaten in that regard. But again, so I think the way things have been going, with Inferno as the last map, which Cloud9 have the best stats on, I think they came into this series expecting to have to win it in 3. Which doesn't mean a loss here is guaranteed, but it's not looking very good at the moment. But again, last map is their best map on paper. And they picked Train, which is a giant question mark, which we'll have to find out the answer to and once we get there. But yeah, the CT side not looking great here on Nuke. Maybe they can be successful on the T side as well. Snappy will put JT out of his misery, and we move into the last round of the first half. Door open, door closed.
All right. Well, James, this might be one of those series where the first map is kind of a throwaway in the sense of Cloud9, especially as the underdog team. And I think that's obviously so much pressure is going to go into Train, their pick. I think Inferno is definitely has always been such a comfortable map for them. So if they can get there, it's this series I think will look very different. But for right now, oh my God, they are getting battered. Oh, brutalized. Stavin with a great shot there onto OC. The pre-fire, he just knows. He knows what to do and at what time to do it. And now Borup is also going to spot MOTM. That is pretty free. You get the right eye peek there. You get a superior angle. As long as you check it, you're always going to get the kill there. Like MOTM just died in that position. You need the element of surprise for that to be successful for him. Stavin waiting for the info play, the push around Trophy Room. He's going to find it. We'll lose the fights. And Cloud9 have now discovered that there's nothing going on in lobby, but it was too late, James. Too late!
I think we can describe this half of Cloud9 essentially as drinking bleach.
Excuse me, what?
And maybe they can get a 5th round out of this. A molly has been thrown on the bomb itself, but there's plenty of time, so that's not terribly a concern. Not a huge concern here. Pushing through the smoker Cloud9 with a flashbang, but Borup has the angle, and that's not going to work. High risk and low reward seem to be this half of Cloud9. Floppy and JT now versus 3. Even now, there's still 45 seconds on the clock. 2 versus 2. Bomb still on the floor. Caden with a dirty angle. Leaving Floppy to essentially walk to his doom. Catches the back of Caden, but leaves him with 4 HP, which is enough as far as FPX are concerned. Oh,
Floppy's already read this. He's actually got a... He's made some good ground here. I don't know that they would... Okay, well, they've already posted up. Oh, Floppy, he gets that kill, but he doesn't. He doesn't. And it's an 11-4 first half for FPX on the T side of Nuke. Not a great way for Cloud9 to start this series. We'll have to see if they can recover after this break.
We're Cloud9, and here we are at Flashpoint 1, and we're about to fuck these kids up.
And we are back. The sides have changed, and maybe the fortunes of Cloud9 can change as well, because that first half, from their perspective, absolutely sucked.
Yep, it was pretty rough. FPX were able to do a very good job running their strats, and it didn't really seem like Cloud9 had a way to kind of get ahead of any of it or really disrupt any of it. So, yeah, just a great game plan from FunPlus Phoenix, and Cloud9 not being able to have Nuke fundamentals that could deal with that. But they're on the T side now, so maybe if they have done any work on this map, I think this is perhaps where we would see the most potential. So off with the pistol round they go. It needs to start off well for Cloud9 as they make their way forwards, and that's not a bad start. Sonic will take off Borup's head, and it's just the Danes who are falling on the ground at the moment as Cloud9 stand tall, and it's Snappy who is remaining, and he's got quite a lot of work on his shoulders. See if he can no, he can't do anything, James. He is ineffective.
Well, there we go. A chance.
A chance.
But it is worth noting that Cloud9 have won both pistol rounds. And essentially, also worth noting, I can't remember if there was a fourth buy or not. Assuming there was a fourth buy, then they may not have won a single full buy round versus full buy. So that is going to be a big test, and indeed we do have a fourth buy for the moment. For the most part, I meant to say, Cadian has kept some money in the hole for the AWP, as an AWP should. And Cadian's quickly gone downstairs as well. We've got a fast execute here from Cloud9. Not too much of a response here from FPX, just taking position in relevant places. Cadian will try to buy some time, but only JT is scouting around downstairs. C9 holding position elsewhere for the time being, but moving quickly towards the ramp. So we've got a big bunch of players here to try and trade frag any sneaky positions. Oh, JT just about pulls the Mac-10 out at the right time. Reloads while he's jiggling. Stavin's on the way with one of the two bigger weapons here for FunPlus Phoenix, the fast-firing MP9. Now the B bomb set will be taken to last wherever. Smoke towards Decon.
Stavin opening the door there. He's actually going to drop the bomber just for the moment, slowing things down here for Cloud9, and they are taking some damage. They are a man to the good at this point, 3 versus 2 in favor of Cloud9, but they got to get that bomb planted. Snappy knows some angles. Can't quite find the connection that he's looking for, though. He may get another few chances. Yes, yet there's some damage. S attack. Is he going for the wallbangs? Yes, he will, but not going to make it work. You can hear the opponent moving around there, so he has a good idea as to where one of them is. Floppy's very weak towards controls. If Vesatag is to go towards that direction, then perhaps he will be good for a kill, but maybe he's just playing X's, just trying to be annoying at this point, given the fact that he's not really carrying anything, and he can sacrifice himself if it means getting some extra damage on the opponent's economy.
Save it at this point. You might as well try and use this in the next round, and he'll save it with little issue. So that's something. But for Cloud9, this is a moment to build some confidence, as they were just on the receiving end of a spanking in that first half, so they can try to get that out of their minds. I do note that Borup has picked up a taser for the coming rounds. We'll see what kind of sneaky position he can try to use it in. So it's another test here for Cloud9. Again, just a light test to get a coordination going. Cadian's picked up a taser as well. Let's see where these tasers end up. Borup's going to be close to the entrance to A. Might avoid a few flashbangs from that position. Stabbins out early. Doors blown off. Sonic will be the caretaker of that for now. Looking in all the usual positions as he creeps out. If he was to go down beyond after this smoke, there doesn't seem to be anyone in position to really trade it. So Borup will try to do what he can. Didn't get the taser off after all. And the A site's been taken.
There we go. Bomb starts ticking away, and now it is about hunting down these players. The remainder of FunPlus Phoenix, and you can see that it's a nice little setup here from FunPlus Phoenix to try to get some damage as Cloud9 move into unfavorable positions. You can see Cadian's got a little setup with his... Well, he was trying to set up with his taser until he's found a better option. And Galil on the ground. Galil is actually pretty amazing these days. Since the updates, it's pretty respectable, I would say. I enjoy using it now, so that's a pretty big change to my hatred for it in the past.
Wow, that's a strong word.
Yeah, it was just rubbish before, but now it's serviceable.
Now it's DDK approved.
Yeah.
Stamp it. Well, the gap has been reduced to something reasonable. What is not reasonable, though, is that the people leading, from a Cloud9 point of view, are on the CT side. But it's a fantastic start to FunPlus Phoenix. 11-7 after losing both pistols. Not too shabby. And now the game really begins. Cadian's on the AWP. We've got the Molly's smokes out. It's a big full buy for FunPlus Phoenix, for Cloud9 to deal with. This is their first real test, Cloud9, on their T side. May be an indicator as to how long this game of Nuke will go for. 4 Kriegs and a Galil for Floppy. S-Tag trying to avoid flashbangs as he makes his way downstairs very quickly indeed. But is there a charge behind it? Or is he just trying to compromise some of the positions of these CTs?
So this is a problem. OC being down lower really presents a lot of risk for FunPlus Phoenix. We'll see if they realize that or not. Now the ramp push comes through for Cloud9. Snappy is waiting behind the box here. Oh, he can't get any damage there. Cadian's mollied back as well, which really limits the angle that he can take. You can see that it allows Cloud9 to jump down to ramp and to the lower site safely without exposing themselves to any AWP angles, as now the bomb can go down. And they have a pretty sweet setup here. I don't think there's anything that FunPlus Phoenix should really risk in this situation. They're going to fall back, and everyone is picking their own spot to save, and it seems. And just like that, Cloud9, they've outpositioned their opponent, and the Danes are happily giving it up.
Hold on to what they have. FunPlus will be absorbing information from round to round as Cloud9 look to go from success to success. So it's nice to see them win a round outside of the usual post-pistol rounds. 5 versus 5 so far, so good. All 5 survive. You want them to survive, not go crazy hunting. You want them to have that money to keep up the pressure on the CTs if they are to lose a round. 3 by decimation now for Cloud9. And the gap is close to 3.
I thought you said 3 by decimation. I was like, oh, That's one way to put it, I suppose.
Not yet. We'll have to wait to use these stronger words for Cloud9. They still have some clawing back to do. They need to got some fear to instill to their opponent. So FunPlus will have the 3 M4A4s, Borup will have the Galil, and Caden will continue with the sniper rifle. Caden having a look into Squeaky actually, expecting a door to be blown off. He's right in that respect, but maybe the flashes and smokes will be a problem. And he's forced to fall back. Wall of smoke on the outside, but there's no one behind it. In fact, there's 4 smokes outside, one of which is from the CTs. Cloud9 now have Sonic moving through the vents, and Snappy's made his way downstairs as well. But what will the rest of Cloud9 do? Got a big rotation from FunPlus towards the B bomb site.
Yeah, this could be a problem. Cloud9 definitely made a lot of audible sound cues there. And they're going to go for a very similar round, but the problem is that this is way more telegraphed. So if they try to finish on the lower bomb site, you got FunPlus Phoenix rotating in a position, although Sonic and Floppy will open up the kills. And again, Cloud9, they have a lot of time here. They can just try to outmaneuver the CTs, but they're going to double down on this lower bomb site. The lineup could have been absolutely catastrophic, but the trade comes through immediately, so catastrophe is averted for the time being. As once again, FunPlus Phoenix are put onto a save. So now you start to wonder, James, you know, Cloud9 finding some success, getting the scoreline to be a little bit closer. Maybe they can find a way to equalize, and maybe this game is gonna, the narrative is gonna change.
I think Floppy can hear that both CTs are almost certainly in CT spawn now, so there might be a little hunt. Again, the less money FunPlus take from round to round while they're losing at max loss bonus, the better it is for Cloud9. Because again, if Cloud9 slip up later on, they can keep up that pressure and look to really break FunPlus when the loss bonus goes down. It's definitely a long-term game to be had here. But 2 will survive, it seems. Indeed, they will. Borup and Stavin will hold on to their M4A4s. So now we've very quickly got 5 rounds in a row for Cloud9. And I do start to wonder how many CT rounds will be won in total in normal time. FunPlus take a timeout. Try and stop this momentum for Cloud9, who seem pretty calm. Coach is pretty happy with the proceedings.
There's a world, James, where this actually works out for Cloud9. But there's one problem, I think.
What's that?
We haven't really seen a diversity of strategy from them just yet. It's been somewhat same-ish, and it's been quite fast-paced. So if they start off and there's, let's say, some kind of disruption, FunPlus Phoenix, maybe they get a pick early on, I'm kind of curious, you know, how does Cloud9 play that mid-round? Are they going to be anywhere near as good in the mid-round situations where they've got to make a plan on the fly? It's a, you know, it's a 4v4 or something with a minute to go and they don't have map control. You know, how do they handle that situation? That's what I want to see next. But first, to do that, FunPlus Phoenix need to have some success. And Caden's on the AWP now. They got full nades. They are equipped, well equipped for this.
Again, those really fast grenades. So we're seeing some variation. Previously, there was nobody going towards Secret. This time, JT tries to make it there, gets blasted. But the question for FunPlus is how many players might be towards Secret? They're going to have to invest a man in that question. That might be Snappy in the meantime. Oh, Caden's missed his first shot towards ramp, which loses position for FunPlus. Now it's even more important they keep an eye on Secret, which they do have at least.
That's such a big kill to miss because it would be a 5v3, which obviously is such a big difference. But Snappy's here by control, looking to find the first engagement, doesn't want to commit to it, and that's smart. As long as you can just hold on to the position, the T's have to push you, as they just did, and it's a 1-for-1 there. So that's, again, a decent result for Snappy. He delayed things, he managed to get a kill before going down. He's got some additional information, and his teammates are already in position just as the bomb is planted to try to make a go of this retake. You can see that the positioning for Cloud9 is somewhat limited. They only really have control on the bomb site itself, or actually, sorry, they gave up control. So it's just the bomb site itself. So the CTs are beginning to surround them. And now Cadian starts to hit the shots. MOTM goes down towards ramp, and there is pressure, huge pressure on Cloud9. It's just Floppy left on the bomb site. There's 4 players coming his way, and he is going to get annihilated. Very well done by the Danes.
No kills for Cloud9 on FPX's retake. 4 players survived for them. Shut up at you. That's a strong round win and their first of the half, FunPlus Phoenix. So again, we're seeing a similar default from Cloud9, at least in terms of utility. This time they sent JT towards Secret. He didn't make it there. And there was concern from FunPlus if anyone else was there for a while, but ultimately they win the round with 4 players alive. A very strong retake from them. Cloud9 not looking comfortable at all. And they kept Sonic waiting as well. He was peeking control every few seconds, but never saw anyone, even though there were 2 people there. So it was a really strong retake from FunPlus. But now they need to get that consecutive round and get a little closer. When they get to 13 rounds, surely that'll start to make Cloud9 nervous.
I was going to say as well, I wouldn't be surprised to see the CT starting to throw incendiaries towards where the 2 smokes comes through to block off or create a wall towards Secret, and we did see that molly because Cloud9 have been going really fast with those smokes pretty consistently. And they slow things down here now. This is the first time we're seeing Cloud9 slow down their default, although I say it's a default, it's not actually that much of a default. They're just going to push down towards the outside altogether, more or less, with one person looking for that aggression on the flank. So how do the Danes react to this? FunPlus Phoenix will try to keep tabs on these positions. They've given outside up completely. Cloud9 have not made their way down Secret. I don't really know that there is any vision of that, but Stavin's going to find a pick. That's pretty big. 5v4 now. 40 seconds to get that bomb planted. They're going for the upper split. Let's see if it works out.
S-Tag with the off-angle, the bomb falls to the floor, and look at the kills raining in. Running out of bullets though. MOTM, he has half a chance here. Does he realize someone else is on the site? He does. He heard the ladder as well, so he's got even more of a chance. He knows where one of the final 2 players are, and he's got 30 seconds. There's no bomb plant pressure just yet, but it's coming pretty soon. Bomb is collected. Now, where is that trade frack? He doesn't know just yet. Avoids the flashbangs. Cadian creeping in the hut. 20 seconds now. That Molotov is perfect. He's going to run straight into Cadian, actually, with the knife out as well. There he is, and now it's too late. 13 rounds to FunPlus.
What a money Molotov. That was brilliant. The one that denied the plant right at the end. It's a cool round from Cloud9. You actually don't see those super commonly, where a team will just go, just like there's no default at all. They'll just build, like from the beginning of the round, the plan is to just hammer outside and then try to get an upper split through Mini and Heaven. And it almost worked out. It was a little bit hairy, I have to say. Did require a lot from MOTM at the end. But indeed, FPX with some success, and the pace continues here as Sonic gets the drop into the vents. This has been a common feature for Cloud9's T side, and you could, eventually the other team, the CT side, will adapt to plays if you keep repeating them so much. And look at this setup. So they know that when the player goes down lower, that ramp room is going to be pushed. Look at this setup. There's 2 players here ready to just absolutely ruin this. So telegraphed. They know what it means when the T side put someone down lower. But maybe it doesn't matter, James.
Sonic has a lot to do, but with over a minute on the clock, there's a hole somewhere. He just needs to find where it is. Can he catch somebody off guard? We can see Borup and S-Tag considering playing a trade frag situation, being proactive. Sonic having a look-see, not seeing much of anything outside. Now, where are the CTs? What is the way in? Borup trying to pick the most awkward angle possible underneath Heaven, which is pretty smart. But does he have cover from Mini? As time continues, does he become more concerned? In fact, Sonic heading towards Mini. Got to check the off angle in the garage, which he's looking for. Nobody's there. Check the hut roof. Oh, did he see? I think he may have just seen a smidgen of Borup. Pulls out the Molotov. There is a player in Squeaky as well. He's shot at. And now S-Tag might have the superior angle. Sonic moving into the site, creates some space with the smoke grenade. Oh my god, that headshot's absolutely ridiculous. Time is running low. 1 versus 2. He knows one's in the vent. Can he actually do this?
Oh, he's going to close the door, making it feel like he went behind it. He's very exposed! He's done it somehow! Sonic! Oh god, you're right, James. How did he pull that one off? An ace to boot. That kill, just to get the bomb down. The reaction, I don't even understand. I cannot comprehend.
That is an outrageous round from Sonic. Command has come under lots of criticism. With Krieg in his hands, anything is possible. Huge. He makes its double figures. Monstrous. Yeah, he's happy with that. That's such a huge round for Cloud9. He's done it in style, but it's taken all the money away from FunPlus. They're having to pull out the auto shotgun now. This could crush FunPlus Phoenix at the worst moment. That could potentially mean so much if they can get that consecutive round.
Yeah, it's a huge kind of setup round, I suppose, in that sense. But they do have to continue. And the thing is that, again, if you look at the way that round transpired, it is the case that FunPlus Phoenix are reading Cloud9 pretty well. As I had mentioned, Cloud9's playbook isn't very expansive, and I think it's pretty obvious given the rounds that we've seen. And they're trying to stick to the stuff that's been working, but eventually, again, FunPlus Phoenix are reading it. So we'll see if there's any variations here for Cloud9. Going to go for a very fast ramp burst here, and there is no one here. There's nobody home. Cadian will get a pick outside, but that's it. So they're going to figure it out, but what can they do about all these players coming down lower? Snappy's found an angle.
Oh my days.
It's a good frag. Almost another as well.
He's bought some time, just a few seconds for his teammates to rotate, and here comes the shotgun. 2 versus 3 now. Sonic needs to plant the bomb. 1 CT on the ramp. Oh, they're going to exit actually. Never mind planting the bomb. Cloud9 prioritizing pace over the default with the smokes and so on. Cadian sees 1, sees 2, misses a shot. MOTM considers trying to trade that shot, but he doesn't really get there. The flashbang is so perfectly timed. Cadian taken out now. That is a huge frag. Cadian trying to take an advantage for his team, doesn't quite get there. Stabbing an MOTM now. Now it's just Sonic to clutch again. This time only 2 people to deal with. He knows one's around the hut position, but he's exposed to Mini, and it'll be free for Borup. He commits to one way, taken out from the other, and FPX stop that consecutive round for Cloud9 and make it to 14.
I actually respect Cadian's play quite a lot, because if he gets the shot there, if you're like a really top tier AWPer, you're like, I really feel like there's a fairly strong chance that you get a connection onto one of those 2 players. If you get traded, having a 2v1 for your teammates is huge. It's so impossible for the person who's alone to try to win that situation if he still has to plant the bomb as well. So I do respect that play from Cadian, and it doesn't end up costing them. So
I don't think there's a wrong option there.
Yeah.
It's just about, you have like half a split second to decide what you want to do, and that's one of the options.
If you have the confidence, you should go for it in that spot, for sure.
14-10 in favor of FunPlus Phoenix. Such a big opportunity afforded to Cloud9, but lost after that clutch from Sonic.
Tiny gap, James.
He won't use it though. But sometimes the smoke develops and the gap disappears as well, which I'm sure he's familiar with. So we've got a mixed bag here for Cloud9. Got some pistols. Oh, they can hear that tagging as well, and they'll finish off the job. Sonic's gone. So we've got the AK now, the hero AK on MOTM, and a bunch of pistols. This is a rough one for Cloud9. They've been forced to change the pace due to their lack of weaponry. 4 players into control. And the guy with the rifle's trying to deploy a grenade. No one there to stop him though. This looks really painful. They're all going to line up. S-Tag takes out 2. Snappy will contribute as well. That leaves JT versus 4 with a MAC-10. He's got an upgrade. Again, he's got time, but he needs to collect that bomb. Got some jiggles, some peeks from Borup. Gets cheeky with it. Speaking of confidence, there's game point for FunPlus Phoenix.
Yeah, really well played in that round for sure. I think that, you know, when you catch Sonic in the, you know, behind the vent there by himself, and you see that there's no presence anywhere else, I think it just gives you so much information. It's like, okay, we know that's a lurker. Okay, what rounds feature a lurk that we understand that our opponents might run, or a lurk in that position? And so, you know, usually it's going to be something, you know, like a lower type round. So it's a lot of info for them to get, catching Sonic as they did. But here we go. It's a MAC-10 at Deagle, 3 P250s. This is what it's come down to for Cloud9 to keep themselves alive on map 1. It's going to be tough. Oh, they find Borup QQing or pulling out from a nade or something, and Stavin's in a difficult spot, but his teammates will find a way to save it. Ultimately, it's down to 1. JT's only got a MAC-10. If he had a Krieg or something like that, maybe you feel like it's more possible, but the bomb is also lost on the bomb site. So right now, it's hard to find the way that JT can do this.
I think he may need a stroke of fortune. I can't imagine Cadian goes beyond this angle. Oh no, he does actually, to the lobby angle. That's fair enough. He's got his teammate behind him as well. So they're playing defensively. They're playing to clean up the round no matter what. So JT might make his way into the bomb site. Oh god, he's just crouched at the wrong time. Cadian misses it. The bomb needs to be collected though. Not quite there just yet. Got a rifle. Again, there's so much time on the clock. He's prioritizing that. Molotov into the hut, but the CTs are being very active indeed. A smoke to create some space. Going to try and dance, but Cadian is creeping again, and now S-Tag has a superior angle. This is surely going to fall to pieces, and there it is. FunPlus take Nuke, strong from start to finish. Cloud9 were almost never in it.
I think there'll be some confidence that they can get from just being able to pull some rounds together, not just being completely crushed, but when they got onto the T side, James, you know, they managed to make it look like it could have happened, that it was doable, and I think that's going to be as good of a takeaway as they could have had.
Yep, that is not the start they wanted, but FunPlus Phoenix is a great way to start off their careers here in Flashpoint 1. We'll see the thoughts of the desk after the break.